Ailis, I heard this thing called worm theory the other day. You'll never guess what it claims. It claims that just as we are extended in space, we are stretched out through time. Like four-dimensional worms.
Well, Catherine, that's very interesting. Although it's fun to imagine ourselves as worms extended in space and time, I think it might be easier to understand as follows. Everything and everyone is made of parts. Now, normally we just focus on spatial parts of things, like the legs of a table, which can be added and lost over time. But if time is a dimension just like three spatial dimensions, as it is according to many physicists, then we have temporal parts as well as spatial parts. At least that's what the Perdurantist, or the worm theorist, claims. For example, according to Perdurantist, you with your long hair and you with your short hair are both distinct temporal parts of you. They both exist in different periods of time.
Wait, so you're saying I can have long hair and short hair at the same time?
Nearly, but not quite. You had long hair in the past and you have short hair now, so there are temporal parts of you with both hairstyles. But that doesn't mean that you have both hairstyles at the same time. That's still impossible.
I wonder what our future philosophy grad selves would have to say about this. Perdurantism is a very important way of thinking about ourselves. It depends on the idea that time is a real dimension, just like space, and that our limited temporal perspective can be misleading.
It may be odd to view ourselves as four-dimensional beings. However, this can be extremely helpful in solving certain problems of material constitution.
Let's look at material constitution in the case of a puzzle.
Let's say, for example, that you have a laptop that you want to keep running extremely quickly because you like to game. Over time, you replace any part that becomes slow and gives it to your brother. After a time, every single part of your laptop has been replaced. But as this was happening, your brother was using the old parts to build a second laptop. The question is now, which laptop is the original?
Now, can you spot the issue at hand? Both laptops, the upgraded laptop and the laptop built from the original parts, are good candidates to be the original laptop. But it cannot be both. Some would argue that the laptop with original parts is the original laptop, whereas others would argue the upgraded laptop is the original. It is hard to choose one or the other. But how can Perdurantism solve this?
Perdurantism solves this puzzle because it allows us to view the laptops as having temporal parts. If we think of the laptops as four-dimensional objects with temporal parts, then we don't have to say which of the laptops is the original laptop. Instead, we can say there are two laptops that share a certain temporal part, the part that exists until the upgrade started. After that, the two laptops stop sharing temporal parts. It's like two roads sharing a stretch before splitting apart.
The laptop is merely an example. However, once we apply the understanding of this example to ourselves, we really can grasp the Perdurantist argument. Your height, hair colour and age 15 years ago are still a part of you. However, that part exists in a different temporal moment. Your present self or state also exists, both states spanning time and connected through time. However, we are shielded by our perception of time, which limits us to one snapshot of ourselves over time.